Hey peeps, Sir Bradley here. We here at Deadpan Studio are presenting a show called BSF, and we would like to take the time to inform our audience that you will most definitely hear vulgarities such as balls, motherfucker, dick, jack, and whore, and possibly some stories of anal leakage. So please enjoy the show.
And I thought my jokes were bad.
Hey peeps, Sir Bradley here to introduce you guys to episode number 2 of BSF. And hopefully the audience understood what that intro was. Hopefully.
They better.
I hope so.
Obviously maybe they should know, seeing, what the title is of this episode. So
that would require having hope for humanity.
Okay. Or just basic reading skills.
It might.
Which most people have.
So peeps, I am Sir Bradley and I am joined by
Cat.
And the Matt.
Yes. Hey, my first intro. How about that?
Yeah.
How about that?
Rocky is a motherfucker. But hey, we're gonna get through this episode.
That's right. It's gonna be a good episode.
Yep. We're gonna spit on it and see if we can't make it go in smooth. Ew.
It's like a good BM.
That's
what? Okay.
That's just funny.
Today's topic is the Joker. But not just one.
Yeah.
Not one.
Not even two.
No.
How many?
A lot.
There's a lot.
Fucking lot.
There's a lot.
Well,
we're going to focus on a certain few. However, we will touch on most, if not all of them. And if we miss one, write to us. Nobody has yet.
And just a disclaimer, we don't like to touch people that way.
That's right.
Often.
Before we get to that, please, yes, reach out to us. We have very simple ways in which you can do that. We have email, deadpanbsf@gmail.com, deadpanstudio18@gmail.com. And we also have where you can go onto the website and send us a direct message on there, deadpan-studio.com. .com. It's easy.
.com.
Yeah.
You can also go to the Twitters.
That's right. We have Twitter.
It'll all be in the
Deadpan Studio 18. It'll all be in the show notes.
Yes,
I keep wanting to say description, but you're like, it's called show notes.
We are definitely looking for subscribers to reach around and
or just
grab our attention.
Just be normal and talk to us normally.
Yeah, suggestions, ideas, topics you want to talk about, or hear us talk about.
Love for them to reach around and
Okay.
grab a hold of us.
Yes,
So
you've made a
if
reach
you are
around
gonna
joke twice. Good job.
If you are going to recommend us to anybody, please tell them that we can be found on a number of different places. We've got iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, Spotify, and as well as deadpanstudio.podbean.com, which is the server that hosts our episodes. So, and you can also go to the website and listen to them. So please tell everybody you know.
And if there's a service that does podcasts that we don't know of yet, and you do, then just tell us and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, we're easy to please.
I am.
How many sex jokes have there already been? We haven't even got to the topics yet. Jesus.
Not enough.
No, there's been plenty.
There'll be more when Harley gets mentioned.
I wasn't really going to talk about her, but I mean...
So what we've done is we've taken different jokers and we've decided that each one of us, the three of us, will. We've divided up some of the Jokers, not all of them. Although, like I said earlier, we're going to talk about most, if not all of them. If we miss one, my bad.
No, we're probably going to miss some because I am only prepared to talk about one.
That's okay. He is a very important one, especially in recent history. So right now, if we're going to go in, Sir Bradley has a suggestion of going in chronological order. Cool. We'll start with mine. Mine is the Joker from... Oh, you've got a little... So you got a little intro you want to do, or...
Sure, I guess.
Go for it.
Sometimes I remember it one way, sometimes another. If I'm going to have a past, I prefer it to be multiple choice. I can't think of a better fitting quote about our subject matter. Whether it's a goofy prankster or a warped sadistic sense of humor, one of, if not, the greatest villains of all time. Quite often steals the show from the best non-superhuman hero to ever grace our attention. The clown prince of crime never ceases to steal our attention away at first glance or with his unique sounding voice and vocabulary. Or is it just the thought of him whenever we hear things such as Mr. J? Is that the attention grabber? Whether it's in our eyesight or within our earshot, we are all immediately all over our attentiveness to the jester of genocide, the Joker. Is it the white face, the red lips, green hair, or the purple suit that graces us with the visual orgasm? Or is it just Heath and Jared for the ladies? Or could it be the incredible voice of Mr. Mark Hamill and or others that send fanboys back to their bedrooms to change their clothes after their initial nerdgasm? Any and all of these are perfectly acceptable ways to give thanks to the best, the greatest villain, and arguably the best character to ever capture our imagination. Today we jump into conversation in regards to the greatest villain ever. Don't at me either. Shut the fuck up. We will uncover anything new to you, maybe. Will we get into his origins, various forms, the inception, the comics, the movies, animated films, TV series, and video games that are all related to the Caped Crusader and his nemesis, Mr. J, a.k.a. the Joker.
The Joker.
Hey. Very nice. I like that a lot. That sure beats the crap out of anything I was going to say at the start of my little thing.
Yep, I know. No, I don't.
No, I'm serious.
No, I don't.
I'm serious.
I've not done very much
right
writing in a long time. So.
That really didn't, I was just going to jump right into it, and that probably wouldn't have done him justice. Thank you, Brad. Thank you very much. I mean that. Anyway, so I was tasked with, I say tasked as if I was made to do it, but
Such a struggle.
Yeah, I volunteered to do the comic book version of the Joker, which is the originator in the most classic of senses. The Joker himself, being in the Batman comics, he was created by Bill Finger, Bob Kane, and controversially, Jerry Robinson. Jerry Robinson, he goes back and forth, did go back and forth between Bill Finger and Bob Kane about how the origins and how they created him actually came about.
It's a great name.
Yeah, Bill Finger.
Yep.
I was just thinking that's a weird
There
name.
is a documentary on Amazon Prime about Bill Finger, so check it out. It's actually really good.
Actually making me contemplate, heading to the Social Security office for a name change for myself. So,
you don't like Sir Bradley no more?
Well, not got that on my birth
How about Sir
certificate.
Finger?
Sir Finger.
Sir Finger Bradley?
Yeah. Damn.
I mean,
His first appearance
I
was...
guess if I get paid enough, and
Yeah, check how far back this character goes. April 25th, 1940 was the first appearance of the Joker in Batman.
I'm
number
sorry,
1.
what was the date?
April 25th, 1940.
Oh, okay, I have that note too.
Wow.
Nice. We're probably going to have some overlapping information, so if it's repeated, that's okay.
Yeah.
as I was saying, the creation credit has always been disputed because both Finger and Kane both say they came up with the concept and design, as well as the writing, and Jerry Robinson said, hey, no, that was me.
That was me.
Unfortunately, by 2011, all three had passed away, so there really wasn't any final decision on who that is. But on the actual comic books, you'll see just the Batman comics created by Bill Finger, Bob Kane. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
He's been around in the three different ages of comics: the Golden Age, Silver Age, and what's known as the Modern Age. His debut was as an insane, remorseless serial killer who killed his victims with his Joker venom toxin, which gave him a permanent Joker smile. Now, that smile was based on The Man Who Laughs, which is a Victor Hugo movie/film. I'm not going to go into too much detail because there's a lot of stuff here, so I'm just going to go through the tidbits. Just put my nose in it just a tiny bit.
It's like the makeup and the creepy smile.
Yeah.
You're still in my lines.
If they're good, I'm going to take them.
Changed it a little bit.
So had to make it your own, huh?
Yeah, that's right. After the 40s, between the 40s and 70s, he was sort of becoming more of a deranged prankster to appeal more to the children. And that was showcased definitely in the 70s TV show.
Hey, children, here's a deranged man to laugh at.
Yeah. In 1942, there was a story that was written called Joker Walks the Last Mile, and that was the actual start of him changing from the sadistic serial killer to just a deranged prankster. The Silver Age, that was in the 50s. He had his actual origin story in 51, Detective Comics 168, where he was formerly a criminal named the Red Hood who was disfigured by a fall into a chemical vat, which sounds like movies that we've seen.
Yeah.
That didn't last too long. In 54, the Comics Code of Authority was established, and that's when he really just transitioned to a complete goofy thieving trickster. So he's kind of gone back and forth over the years.
They couldn't decide what to do with him.
Pretty much. But he was just a very...
Well, the way I understood it is, I guess this comic book code or whatever the fuck this is, is like, okay, this is not good. You know, we're not wanting to attract this kind of attention,
right.
So we want to dumb this down a little.
Yeah.
You know, so.
But it did lead into some of his more classic weapons, such as the lethal joy buzzers, acid squirting flowers. I just misspelled that, so I don't actually know what that word is. So, but in a nutshell, it's goofy, elaborate crimes. That's pretty much what they were.
Can't read your own misspelling.
Nope. By 73, he'd actually been revived because the comic book character just disappeared for about 4 years. He came back in Batman 251, Joker's 5-Way Revenge.
Never had one of them. Sounds like fun.
Yeah, you gotta have a room big enough for that. But that story.
I was going to say something else big enough for that.
It was actually returned to his homicidal roots. By 75, he got his own comic book series called The Joker. It was canceled after 9 issues, though. But they did create a new look for him where he was walking around in more of a trench coat and a fedora, as opposed to his classic green and purple suit with a string tie. In the 80s, which is considered the modern age, he came into his own due to the shift in comics to more mature content that is showcased in the movies that came out then. Some of the key issues in Joker's staying power and popularity were in this era. Some of them include The Dark Knight Returns, Death in the Family, and The Killing Joke.
That one.
Yeah. Which, by the way, is on a poster that we have behind us. We're going to take a picture of that later and post to the website. By 92 is when they actually paired him with the now famous and possibly just as famous as Joker, Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn!
Yeah.
Now, she was originally only supposed to be in one episode of
the
animated show.
Which is kind of ironic because Joker was actually... Yeah. Joker was actually only supposed to last one comic book issue, and he was supposed to die at the end.
Yep.
And so,
I'm waiting to see if he's going to say that.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here staring at this note, this bullet point I've got.
but
say it.
That's the thing. He didn't. He did in the comic, and then they found out that he was too popular to kill off. So later on they squeezed in an extra panel showing him being revived.
He's back. Give us your money.
Sir Bradley has already mentioned every nickname that he had. I had that on here: the Clown Prince Crime, Harlequin of
I
Hate.
didn't get them all.
Harlequin of Hate, Ace of Knaves, Jester of Genocide, stuff like that. It's crazy, but there's a lot of alliteration.
I did leave out a few.
Yeah, but that's okay. I like it. A lot of them kind of alluded to the '60s Batman too. So,
Yeah,
the Clown Prince of Crime. From the 40s to 60s, he was eccentric, harmless prankster. I've already covered all that stuff. Like I said, a lot of this information overlaps. He's always obsessed with Batman. That's the main thing that ties him to all of the versions that we're going to go over. He's always obsessed with Batman because it's like he's the id to his ego. He's the opposite, but, that's their yin and yang.
Yeah.
That one cannot survive without the other. That's the way he sees it anyway.
I'm sure Batman sees it a different way. But
Yeah, I'm sure. I do have a couple of quotes here that I actually remembered the first one because it was from Batman #1, and it was covered in another podcast. Thank you, Kevin Smith. It said, if police expect to play against the Joker, do what?
Batman.
Not anymore.
Not
Not anymore.
Yeah, it's called Fat Man Beyond.
Yeah, I know. Congrats, Kevin. You
Yeah.
look good.
Yeah, only required him to have a heart attack to get there.
Yeah. Whatever it takes, man.
That's right. Said, if police expect to play against the Joker, they better be prepared to be dealt from the bottom of the deck. Not bad. If I weren't crazy, I'd be insane.
oh yeah, I know that one.
Yeah. You can't kill me without becoming like me. I can't kill you without losing the only human being who can keep up with me. He was, of course, speaking about Batman. We will be mentioning Batman a lot. I know I'm kind of flying through this information, but we've got a lot of Jokers to go through. And so I'm trying to keep this episode as short as possible. I did name some of the key Joker comics from over the years. There's 10 of them. That's going to take the bulk of this, which is, I've already mentioned Joker's 5-Way Revenge. It was the first time that they stepped away from camp in the 60s. The Joker was taking a violent revenge on 5 former gang members that betrayed him, while Batman was having to actually protect the criminals that he was going after before, thanks to the Joker.
Ironic.
Yeah. Next one, 78, was The Laughing Fish. It blended classic Joker elements with a modern portrayal. And it just dealt with the Joker's plan to poison Gotham's fish supply with the Joker toxin. Classic Joker.
I didn't know Gotham had fish.
Yeah. Mad Love. It was a Batman Adventures one-shot, which was done in the same style as the animated series. It did include Harley Quinn. It's centered around Harley Quinn's origin. It shows Joker's manipulation and compassion with the dynamic relationship between the two of them.
Yeah, they had a messed up relationship, but
Still do.
it's a bit like, yeah.
And, of course, I cannot mention any of these without a death in the family, which it's not the number one, but it is one of the most key issues that you can get. Batman, it shows the Joker in one of his most savage storylines and shakes the Batman world for decades. It still affects him today. The story is pretty much centers around the Joker kidnaps Robin, a.k.a. Jason Todd, and which is the second Robin. And after Robin saves his own mother's life from the Joker, Batman does everything he can to find Robin before the Joker can kill him. Spoilers, too late.
Very sad.
Yeah. Number 5, this is actually Batman #1, the first appearance of the Joker. I've already mentioned that before. It was at Joker's, first time being introduced, and this was actually where I mentioned earlier where he was supposed to die at the end of the episode, end of this issue, but the character proved too popular, so
they were like, "Give us your money." Here he is.
They
He's
squeezed
back.
in a little panel that brought him back. Number 6, The Man Who Laughs.
Thank God they did.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this would be a really fucking boring show today.
Yeah, it really would. Number 6, The Man Who Laughs. It was a graphic novel that served as a sequel to Batman Year One. It tells of Batman's first encounter with the Joker with a reworking of his origin story. It also showcased how sinister he is with his senseless slaughter for no reason other than his own personal joy. And that was actually the homage to Hugo, the title of The Man Who Laughs. Going Sane, I'm just gonna go through the rest of these, which came out in 94, 95. The Joker titled graphic novel in 2008. It was told the most realistic and darkest version of the Joker.
Not for children, probably.
Right. The Death of the Family. No, I've already read that. No, it is The Death of the Family. Basically, it's one of the longest specific Joker story arcs they ever created. It was 23 issues spanning 9 DC titles. Came out in 2012. It showed Joker had his face surgically removed and he escaped from Arkham. He
Removed?
Yeah.
What did they put in place of a face?
Oh, you'll just have to read the comic to find out.
Oh, I don't know.
No, he had some sort of face on him.
Will he make it? Find out next time.
Same bat time, same bat channel. Oh no, he had some sort of face put on that he was like a leather type of face where he had it attached by like belt buckles and different straps. And
okay, how's that less noticeable than just your regular face where you can just put on
like
some regular ass
Leatherface
makeup?
meets Mankind.
yeah, pretty much.
It's like, oh yeah, he doesn't look like himself anymore, but there's buckles on his face.
Yeah.
I think you can find him.
The whole story is about he announces that he knows all of the Bat family secret identities and would be killing them all one by one.
Jeez.
Yeah, it shows all the classic locations and fleshes out the relationship between Batman and the Joker. It is the closest thing you can find to show what makes the comic book Joker tick. And last but not the very least, this is our number one. I have number 10 on the list, but it's actually number 1. The Killing Joke, a graphic novel that came out in 1988. It is considered a masterpiece in both literature as well as the author, Alan Moore. He gave another Joker origin story where Joker was a family man. He was a struggling comedian which resorted to crime to pay his bills. He was thwarted by Batman and driven insane. It was also known as one of the most lasting, influential, comics in history because it created one of the first time one of the major characters was outside of Jason. Okay, I'm just going to spoilers. Barbara Gordon, James Gordon's daughter, Joker shoots her and paralyzes her. She becomes Oracle. She was Batgirl.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
I'm curious as to if the graphic novel is the same as the movie or the animated movie.
It's sort of like
in the fact of being a sex scene or two.
Yeah, there's
it fucking threw me through a loop whenever I saw that. I was like, holy fuck.
It's been a number of years since I've read The Killing Joke.
Like
Batgirl.
Yeah.
and
Batgirl / Barbara / Oracle.
Yeah. I'd say there are some things that they added to it or changed or tweaked, like the way they did with the not as equally good as the graphic novel, but the Dark Knight Returns animated videos that they put out, they were really good. They did make some changes, but overall it was really good. But
I've seen several of them, but I don't even know which ones I've seen. But all of them that I've seen, like the stories are just, they grab a hold of you.
Oh yeah, they're really good. They're really good.
They definitely reach around and grab a hold of
the
you.
new Death of Superman and the Reign of the Supermans are really good tue. Beats the crap out of the Superman Doomsday when they came out with over a decade ago. Now, I sped through this because, like I said, we've got other Jokers we need to cover, such as the Jack Nicholson Joker, which was bringing the Joker back to the forefront in popularity when it came out in 1988, when Batman came out with Michael Keaton. And
I thought it was 89, but
it is 89. You're correct. You were absolutely correct. It is 1989 because I was 7 when it came out. If I did the math right.
What a coincidence! I was too.
Yeah.
I was not born.
Kat was still in her dad's nutsack.
Thanks for that.
No problem. That's what I'm here for.
If you do any sort of research about the Joker, what makes him tick, the psychology behind the Joker, you'll come up with a number of really interesting things. There's actual articles by psychological or psychologists, psychiatrists, anybody with a PhD in a form of psychology write something about it. I actually found from the University of Texas at Arlington, and I will give full credit to the author by the name of J. Ewald. He wrote a thesis of The Joker, a character study of a modern madman.
I think that's pretty cool.
This sounds like an interesting read.
It is. It's 100 pages.
Yeah, that just knocked it out for me.
But you have a table of contents that shows what pages. It goes into the Joker through various lenses, the nature of evil and villainy, the supervillainy and the inhuman human, the trans/post-humanism. I mean, it goes into some very interesting philosophical discussions as well as psychological discussions, but it also goes into the perception of madness, which was really good. And then the very end of it, they actually diagnose the Joker.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's the most important thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they diagnose him. Yeah.
Was it batshit
What
crazy?
would I started saying? I was going to ask the both of you.
That was a good one. What's a good one? That shit crazy.
Yeah. That's like something carrying. That's like something carrying his utility
got a fist
belt.
pump on that one.
Yeah, that's something carrying his utility belt.
That shit.
Yeah, right next to the bat shark repellent.
Oh God! Shit, man, you had to fucking. I shouldn't have hesitated.
It's okay. Don't hesitate on this. How would you diagnose him, Brad?
I can't think of a better way to diagnose him other than what Kat just said, to be honest. I mean, that's crazy. My favorite fucking diagnosis right there.
What about you, Kat?
I mean, Kat, obviously knocked it out of the fucking park.
You sticking with batshit crazy? I didn't let her read this or look at it until I told her I would after the recording.
I'm pretty sure batshit crazy isn't like...
Not the official term.
Not the official term, not... Hey, professor, here's my diagnosis, batshit. I don't know. I mean, sociopaths.
Sociopath would be, I think, a good one.
It's because you just do shit with no conscience for like other people. Because he doesn't really ever care about his underlings or anything. Like he can get a bunch of people like on his side, but then. As the mission goes on, or at the end of it, he's just like, okay, like, fuck all you,
chaos.
Kill you, blah, 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 and then he just wants what he wants. But I don't know. What did they...
Well,
what did this...
I'll give you the actual diagnosis at the end of this little bit, but they use the different types of pathies for this. They said he suffers from delusional sociopathy, and also from an antisocial personality disorder, saying that he's completely evil and lacking in any morality. So the official diagnosis is an antisocial, extroverted psychopath.
Whoa. Extra, yeah.
That sounds good to me.
I know, right? I will not put a link to this in the show notes. Sorry to say that, audience members, just because this is somebody's personal work that they had for college. It was on the college website. Now, even though I read it and I'm talking about it on the air, I don't know how the author would feel with me spreading his work out like that. So, some people, especially those in psychology, they can be a little.
Yeah, sometimes people don't like their shit spread.
Yeah.
Well, can you link the website for the entire college and they can just use the search bar, or...
I hope the fucking audience caught that.
Oh, no, I caught it. I just had about 10 different things go through my head, and I couldn't figure out which one would be the best.
I didn't catch whatever you just said.
Oh, okay.
No, I was just thinking... Well, so whatever college this person
Yeah, the University of Texas at Arlington.
Okay, can you just link...
Yeah.
Their entire website, and
I will link the Arlington website.
If people want to see it that bad, they can just look search.
Yeah, they can search and look for J. Ewald, University of Texas at Arlington.
Yeah, so
and Jay, if you have a problem with this,
for some reason you ever hear this in your whole life,
just sit there knowing I am a fan. You did amazing work.
You did a good job.
Yes, you did the Lord's work.
I hope you got an A or whatever college.
Yes, that's for you, buddy.
I hope you got a high college score. A+.
That's right.
Good job.
All right.
Also, isn't it funny that someone got to bring geekdom into what they wanted their profession to be?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, I'm a fan of this.
Kudos to him.
I got to write this dissertation.
He spent an entire, to do a thesis, he spent an entire, between 6 months to a year working on this.
Man, kudos.
Yeah.
Do you realize you probably got to just watch all the animated stuff? He's like, I'm getting to watch cartoons, but I'm writing my thesis.
Comics, cartoons, movies.
Well, when I
he's
get
studying it, but he's still.
This is 2017. By
when
the way,
I get into one of my
it's brilliant
Jokers, I've done some research, and it was not very pleasant to research. So.
Well, who wants to go next? Kat, do you want to go, or Sir Bradley, would you like to go, or would you like to just round us out?
How about I jump into one of mine because I have multiple ones.
Go, yeah.
I have one.
And then Kitty has one.
Yeah.
Well, And
then...
We'll go
Are you done?
We could do like honorable
You're
mentions
done.
for ones
Yeah.
that...
You're done. I got fucking
That's 32 minutes in.
Well, just pick one.
Do you want to know why? I don't know if the audience knows why that we like to keep these episodes somewhat short.
Episodes? You said episodes.
I
Shorts.
like it.
Did I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Episodes.
Well,
I like it. I do. It's a Sean Connery term.
No,
Yeah, that's what it was.
It's an S word.
That's what it was.
No.
Does the audience know why we want to keep this short?
Not that I know of.
I bet. No?
I don't think they do.
I don't think they do. Well, I'm going to let the audience know why we want to keep that short. Is because when you orgasm so much, it just gets incredibly sensitive. And when you listen to us,
Okay, no, stop it.
the ejaculation
Stop
that your
it.
ears shoot
Stop
out
it.
is
What it is,
incredibly sensitive.
if you give
Stop it.
too much of that, you might end up with an ear infection, okay?
Yeah,
Okay, can we just like
that as well.
yeah, fuck that paper and
Fuck this paper.
fuck that paper.
Yes, and fuck the 60s Batman, because, God, that shit was awful. But we are going to jump right into Cesar Romero.
Can we not have any more 30-second orgasm jokes? Please.
I can't promise. Well, I tell you what, I can promise for this Joker, because I'm not going to say it's bad, but the show was fucking toilet water. So anyway, Cesar Romero, he was born in February of 1907 and passed away on New Year's Day, 1994, from bronchitis and pneumonia at the young age of 86.
Yeah.
Dang.
86.
He was born in New York City but raised in Bradley Beach, New Jersey. In October of 1942, he volunteered for the U.S. Coast Guard. But where he's most known from is from 1966 to 1968, playing the Joker on the original Batman series. So, it was a very campy, very tongue-in-cheek, situational comedy, like almost deadpanish, really. But he often left jokes behind as clues to his crimes, which... Okay.
Why not?
Okay, sure. You know, I mean, it's been done. You know, I mean, in the Christopher Nolan Batman Begins, you know, the calling card, you know, is the Joker. So, okay, sure, that's passable. But in the third season, that's when ratings dropped significantly, and if you watched the show, you would understand why. The fight scenes in this fucking thing were make wrestling WWE shit look like UFC would, you know, today. You know, it's incredibly horrible how bad these fight scenes were. However, there was one saving grace of these fight scenes.
What's that?
Do you know what I'm going to say?
The words.
Exactly. I'm going to say the words.
The word balloons.
2 words. Bruce Lee. Because
okay.
there was crossover between
That's
the Green
right.
Hornet and Kato, a.k.a. Mr. Bruce Lee.
You think the Lee curse had anything to do with it being canceled?
No. Because he was fucking... Really, honestly, I can't say anything about the Green Hornet, but as far as when when Bruce Lee was in Batman episodes, like that was the saving grace to it. I'm not gonna fucking lie.
Did you know he was in there before you watched it?
I'm sorry.
Did you know Bruce Lee was going to be in those episodes before you did your research?
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
Yeah. I did know that.
I didn't know if that would have been a you're ready to slit your wrists after watching it, and then here comes Bruce Lee, and you're like, oh, hold on.
No.
I've not completely given up on life.
No. I'm not going to hang myself just yet. No.
Even though the writers already did.
Yeah. So, kind of got off track a little bit, but when it was found out that it was going to get canceled by ABC, NBC jumped in and says, "Hey, we'll take over this." And okay, not a problem. But when they found out that all the sets were destroyed, NBC said, "quote unquote, fuck this shit. We're not doing it." It's an actual quote. Probably. So yeah, hundreds of thousands of dollars of sets had already been destroyed. So they said, "Yeah, no, not happening." So Cesar Romero done a few more Batman things. One was the film from 1966 that was nominated for Razzie, or if not, it should have been.
It's a Razzie. Wait.
It's a Raspberry Award. It's one of the. If your film's
it's an
awful,
award for a really fucking bad movie.
Oh, okay.
Human Centipede was nominated for a few of them.
Why was that?
Really?
Why was that ever made?
Because Japanese people are weird.
Yeah.
In their Hollywood media anyway.
Somebody had a screw or 7 loose whenever they came up with that shit.
Just watch.
They forgot to buy the screws from the store. They forgot.
Just watch the audition, and you'll get a sense of some of the depravity.
God, imagine having an audition for that.
So now in the 60s films, there were the Batman film of 66. There was Batman Return of the Caped Crusader. Joker was the narrator, but it was not Cesar Romero. There was Batman versus Two-Face, no Joker whatsoever. And then you had spin-offs, Batman 66, and that was comic books shit. But last fun fact about the 60s Batman series was that Burt Ward, a.k.a. Robin, was shitting in his pants to shoot fight scenes with Bruce Lee. So, now, obviously that's not what it said, but, I can't plagiarize, so I had to come up with this shit on my own. So, he was scared shitless.
Yeah.
Mic drop.
We don't have a sound for that.
No, but we do have a rim shot.
Good enough.
Good enough.
That's right, audience.
Good enough.
Good enough. You got the point.
That's right.
You got the gist of it.
You know the funny thing about Cesar Romero?
We have no fucking budget.
No. The funny thing about Cesar Romero is he refused to shave his mustache.
Oh,
Motherfucker. How the fuck did I not read that off?
They just had to put makeup on it.
Oh, I know what it was. It's because I knew I was going to say it, so I just didn't fucking write it down, and then I just didn't fucking say it.
If it was thin enough to be mostly covered by makeup, then it wouldn't have taken him that long to grow it back. Like,
I don't know. It wasn't even a pencil-thin mustache. It was from nostril to lip, all the way down.
It was,
I guess he hated the way he looked without it and just his regular life.
Now, I guess a somewhat enjoyable thing for me anyway is looking back and finding Burgess Meredith as Penguin.
And Lee Merriweather.
Penguin.
As
I have a history of saying penguin.
Penguin.
It's
Penguin.
I used to call it Penguins.
Which if you don't know who the fuck he is, that's Mickey from Rocky. Hey,
it's over, Rock.
Get up, you son of a bitch!
Because Mickey loves you. That is the shining point of that whole shitty movie.
Yeah, that was.
I just said Penguin.
Hey, Tommy, I didn't hear no bell.
Tommy, the machine gun.
Wait, what? Okay, I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I think it would be a good time to jump into Miss Kitty Cat, a.k.a. Miss Harley.
Thank you.
Today.
I'm like half Harley.
So
half
the audience
Revered.
knows.
Yeah, she wore...
Matt and I are both very well aware, obviously, because we have visuals. Yep. But Miss Kitty is looking extremely lovely today.
She does. She does. She's looking a little homicidal.
Yeah.
The fuck dog?
Yeah. Did you die?
Did you even see what my necklace says?
Well, no, because you have a lot of stuff showing today. Not today. Not today. That's what it says.
My necklace. This is cute. It's not like actual like Batman merch or anything, but actually got it at Target. But it's this dainty little gold necklace, and the charm says "Not today." And I feel like that a lot. Just not fucking today.
Oh no, I like Miss Kitty Cat has her hair braided and then one half pink, one half purple.
Did you?
Well, the braid isn't part of it. I just did that to get out of my way for a minute.
Did you
but
do like more dye in the hair?
I have
because it looks a little more than usual.
It's a shampoo that has it in there.
Okay, yeah. I know what that shit is.
Like it's not dyed again.
I used to be involved with somebody that knows about that stuff.
Okay, yeah. No, I have. How long have I had it like this? I mean, obviously,
well, like
a year and a half at least.
At least since October, November, whenever I met you.
Yeah. But I've had it.
But it's not like today. Like the color's just more. It pops more.
That's because I washed it 2 days ago.
Yeah.
What's today? Today is Saturday.
Yeah.
Thursday.
Saturday, May 25th, 2015.
Just so
you
we
want
know,
to timestamp this?
Timestamp this shit. I think it was Thursday, but anyways, for those of you who maybe
I need an alibi.
We don't have too many pictures of ourselves.
At 6:05 p.m.
Yeah.
But anyways, my hair, I did want it. What was it? I think I wanted it all. I can't remember. I think I wanted it all pink. Mm-hmm. And then, like, I was on Pinterest, like any good, 20-something girl should be. And I saw, like, pictures of blue hair, and it was so beautiful. I was like, I want pink and blue. So my mom did my hair. She's not, like, a professional, so she is a nail tech. Kim Wright at Adam. Wait, no. Cooper and Company in Bowling Green. Anyways, I'm just plugging my mom because she's great. But she did my hair. And it's split exactly down the middle. One half is... What? Why are we cheering?
Well, see, I was just trying to tell him to get it ready.
Oh. I didn't mean to touch that.
No, you didn't need to touch that.
No.
Oh, God! Fucking love this girl.
It's giving me the material. I'm sorry.
See,
Anyways, half my hair is pink, the other half is blue. It's grown out quite a bit. But... I was going to do just pink, and then I saw the blue. I was like, can you do half blue too, please, Mother? I love you so much. She was like, okay.
Yep.
And then this was after I had seen Suicide Squad, and I was like, well, I really like that Harley Quinn. And if I'm going to do this, I might as well do it on the sides that she has it. So
everybody likes Margot Robbie.
She's awesome. So it's not like blonde with just a little bit like hers. It was like root to tip, pink and blue.
She's even great on silent, on mute.
On mute.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake. Anyways, so I was like, you know what? If I'm going to do pink and blue, I might as well do it like her. So I put it in pigtails today. The braids are just something that happens. But
and to complete the look, you're wearing a...
Well, I do have a Daddy's Little Monster t-shirt, but I wasn't trying to really be Harley. I was trying to be more Joker. I have this green sweater. It's like a cardigan type. I got it for free, actually. And then I have a, like, shiny... purple skirt that I actually got at Spirit Halloween in like the Joker Harley Quinn section.
Yeah.
And I got it on sale. And so I was like,
which is it me or is that section just went through the fucking roof in like popularity?
Oh, it did. It
did. And it's also like so easy.
We'll see how popular it is this year though.
Well,
that's true.
I feel like those costumes are always going to be popular.
You know that damn near every girl out there wants to be, the sexy Harley Quinn, so.
Well, there's so many different costumes.
And I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah, I am too.
I encourage you ladies to. I
also like when they gender bend it, like do female Jokers and stuff. It's like.
Oh, would that not be hilarious to see me?
Those are two of the characters you use.
In a Daddy's Little Monster and the red and blue shorts.
Wouldn't it, Puddin'?
Mr. J.
Oh, nice.
So
that was really good.
Very nice. And with that, I will say that had I not made such good friends with Matt, she would have been stolen from you. So
no,
just so you know.
Too many
Trust
years.
me.
No.
Too many years.
Too many years. He's fucking older than me.
We've already got used to each other.
Too much investments, too much weird.
I don't want to have to get used to somebody over again. I love you, babe.
Oh, I know that feeling. I really do.
Sorry.
But what I was telling you to get the track ready for is because I wanted to give you a round of applause for having this.
Oh.
Yes, that's what the round of applause is for. Matthew gets to go home with this thing right here, and kudos to you. Kudos to you, Miss Kitty.
Wait. Okay.
Yes. How fitting.
Yeah.
How fitting.
Yes.
So now that we've taken that, 10-minute, off-road,
yeah,
I think we might want to get back into
I only
Miss
prepared
Kitty's,
one Joker, so
Miss Kitty's one Joker, in which, in my opinion, is the best Joker.
All right.
He's one of the greatest.
Be quiet for a second.
He's the best live series Joker. And Kat's telling me to shut the fuck up, even though I'm the goddamn host today.
Oh, no, she's telling me to shut the fuck up, too. Don't feel bad.
So serious.
Wait, I didn't read it.
Why so serious?
Kat, you've got a Joker for us. Which one'd you get?
I have Heath Ledger.
That's a great Joker.
Damn near everybody's, well, from my experience, damn near everybody's favorite, including mine.
Yeah.
Well, he's definitely one that I know
the most,
I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't read any of the comics growing up.
Yeah, I didn't read the comics. I'm not a big comic book guy.
Yeah.
But
well, see, that's what makes this dynamic great, is because I did. I read the comics. You didn't, but you're more familiar with the films and the TV shows, and same as you're really familiar with the Joker of the Heath Ledger versions.
Which,
and also,
I mean, she's a woman and it's Heath Ledger, so I mean,
I did watch.
He is man pretty, or was man pretty.
I completely forgot about this, but I did watch. What was the Justice League cartoon?
Oh yeah,
Batman
it was like what, mid '90s, late '90s?
Yeah, early 2000s anyway.
That's why I'm salty that
yeah.
DC isn't continuing the Justice League live action movies, because I was very excited. Very salty.
Mm-hmm.
And also very angry in the direction that they take Teen Titans.
Well, that's the whole show that's all stupid.
Yeah.
They just made a weird chibi versions of themselves with no depth to their
I'm sure
characters.
she's very sad that she's not going to see Jason Momoa with his shirt off very much.
Every woman in America is going to be very sad until the next thing he does with his shirt
I was
off.
excited to see
I get it.
Cyborg, and that poor guy that plays Cyborg, he got one movie and then they're not going to... He's going to be too old to be teenager Cyborg by the time they decide to do it again.
Yeah.
But anyways.
So.
Heath Ledger was an Australian actor. He's known for roles such as... I don't know the names of the characters, but he was in The Patriot, Brokeback Mountain, which he was. I've never seen that.
I have seen it.
Also starring Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh yeah.
To be honest, it actually was a good movie. Just if you're homophobic, it's not a good movie for you to watch.
Unless you just want to be angry, I guess.
I watched it because the woman who he ended up getting married to and then divorced from, what blonde-headed girl from Dawson's Creek.
Michelle Williams? I didn't know they got divorced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought they were...
She was in that movie.
I thought she was widowed.
She was the reason why I watched Brokeback Mountain. And I just thought and also...
wouldn't that be weird to watch your spouse, screw somebody of the same sex right in front of you?
Yeah, pretty much it would be. But
they got those things.
What do you think about? Well, no, she might have liked that, seeing two pretty attractive men.
Well, maybe.
She probably wasn't even on set that day. Maybe I don't know. Anyways, The Patriot, Brokeback Mountain, Casanova, and of course, The Dark Knight.
Oh, you didn't mention his one huge movie, the one he's most famous for.
Oh, you mean the TV show Roar?
No, I meant 10 Things I Hate About You.
Oh, yeah, 10 Things I Hate About You.
Well, I didn't want to list all the movies.
Yeah.
It was sarcasm.
Yeah.
If the audience didn't catch that.
A Knight's Tale.
I'm pretty sure I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen that movie. I like that
Yeah.
one. It's been a while, though.
It's been a minute.
Well, he plays the character as homicidal, unhinged, psychopathic,
And realistic.
yeah. It's a really, really dark spin on it, and it's a really.
I know it's hard to put it. Let me tell you something about Heath Ledger's Joker.
Please tell me a story about his Joker.
If you actually think about it, they didn't go into too much about the Joker backstory. Rumor has it that they were supposed to, in the third movie, it was supposed to be more Batman versus Joker before Heath Ledger passed away, in which they were going to touch on the origin of how the Joker.
See, because I was actually going to ask that. I was like, I don't know who's got Heath Ledger, but whoever's got him, I'm going to ask that. What the fuck happened with the third one? Was it supposed to be?
It was supposed to be Joker centric.
No.
But it didn't pan out that way, obviously, because of the untimely death.
Well, with how well he was loved for that character, that would have been fucking career suicide to try to cast somebody else to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's all right. You've got a interesting item in front of you.
Cheating.
That is not cheating. That
It's
is
not fucking
research.
cheating.
That is research.
It's like research on the fly.
That's right. What have you got?
I got. I don't really know. You explain it because it was done after he passed away.
It is a book written by Janet Fief Yeoman. It's called Heath, A Family's Tale. It is pretty much an autobiography of Heath Ledger with input from Heath Ledger's family, most namely his father, who contributed to... There's a chapter specifically for The Dark Knight, and he actually has tidbits from Heath Ledger's journal that he kept as the Joker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he kept a journal.
Yeah. What about tell everybody who might not know what that journal consisted of. You don't have to go into specifics.
Is this what his sister wrote about this, or
I don't know what was in the journal.
Because I've heard that his sister said that his death is not what a lot of people thought it was.
Well,
he was not in a dark place or any. It was issues sleeping.
It was issues.
Apparently.
Well, it's not that he was in a dark place.
Well, he traveled so much, and he didn't have a consistent doctor, so he just kept getting all these
Well, he was in
different
a specific mindset
prescriptions.
that filming this movie and getting into that character's mindset, because he was a complete method actor, he had a hard time getting out of that mindset. And there was a lot of disturbing imagery going through his head thinking as that character. So, if you think about it, if you are a raving homicidal maniac in thought, but in reality your emotions and the rest of your thought process and everything else are as a normal, well-adjusted human being, I mean, I would lose sleep. I wouldn't be able to sleep. I couldn't. There's things that have gone on in my life that causes me to lose sleep over. Already, stuff that happened years ago that I still have trouble sleeping for, so I don't sleep that much. So I can understand where he's coming from. No, he wasn't in a dark place, as in he wasn't depressed. I think if he was in any sort of dark place, it was because he was still in the mindset of trying to get rid of that Joker. I know being on stage, just here up at our community theater at Barn Lot, just taking on some of these characteristics, like in the show Musical Comedy Murders in 1940.
I hate that title.
I know. It fits the time. It fits the times.
I know.
I played a Nazi saboteur who was undercover. I was in there to try to murder somebody, and I was actually undercover as an Irish tenor. So for a while after that show ended, I had a really hard time getting my mindset out of the Nazi saboteur type thing. It bothered me a little bit. So I can understand where he would be at. Alan, if he were here, he would probably say the same thing about some of the characters he plays. But Heath himself, I'd say that's probably a lot of his issues was that caused his lack of sleep. Plus being overworked because he was doing a ton of projects in between, and he was already in the middle of filming another one at the time of his untimely death. So, just...
Yeah.
Oh, this feels good. I haven't done this today. Gotta get my nose in it. I didn't realize when Tiny said last week that he could that I hadn't done that. I thought, well, I didn't really realize it was like a signature of mine or anything. But oh well, I'll take it and run with it. I enjoy this. I love getting my nose in it.
Now, I know while you were researching this, you were rewatching The Dark Knight. What is the one thing you remember the most?
Yeah, you got the good research.
What do you remember most about his Joker from that?
I guess the way he looked and his mannerisms.
Which was completely not Heath Ledger.
Yeah, no. Well, he had some, not necessarily prosthetics. I think they were made of silicone or something.
Mm-hmm.
For the scars.
No, he got that by putting a razor in his mouth.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's his dad's fault.
That's one of the stories.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. That was the wife story. Put the razor in his mouth.
What did you think of his voice? Kind of high-pitched weird, wasn't it?
It was definitely weird.
Because
he's trying to freak people out.
Yeah, he's got that high-pitched, type of thing. And that wasn't Heath Ledger
the way he walked and carried himself, he practiced,
Well, he's a method actor, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or was.
100% he was.
I don't think I could do the method acting. I don't really want to have the issues of coming back to reality. So fuck that.
Yeah.
If I were an actor.
Yeah. For a month, he had locked him, rented a hotel room, locked himself away. He worked, on the voice and the way he walked and the mannerisms and everything. And every now and then he would contact Christopher Nolan, I guess, to be like, hey, check this out.
Yeah, and that kind of ties into that journal, too. That's what he kept. That was his character journal. Everything in it was anything and everything. I mean, he would paste, like serial killers would do in their letters, that they would cut letters out of magazines and paste them. That he did that all over it. He would draw these horrific pictures. He drew his own character. He wrote these awful things from inside his mind that he thought the Joker would think and say his philosophy.
Like AIDS.
Yeah.
Thinking AIDS was funny.
I can just imagine that phone call to Christopher Nolan. Why so serious?
Now, can you imagine him reading that to Christopher Nolan?
And I apologize to the audience for the horrendous imitation.
That's okay. Don't worry. I'm not even going to try doing an Australian accent. But can you imagine him calling, Christopher Nolan, who's British? He goes, "Hey, so I was thinking of trying to get into his mindset. Do you think that the Joker would find AIDS funny?"
I guess so.
Because I kind of think it would. I think it would. Yeah. A disease affecting millions of people. I think he'd find it hilarious.
I mean, because he was diagnosed as an introvert sociopath or something.
Introverted sociopath. Yeah.
Sociopath. Yeah.
Yeah. Extroverted, antisocial.
Extrovert.
Extrovert. Excuse me.
Very extroverted.
What the fuck he said?
Yeah.
No, introverted is what I am. Yeah. Well, Nolan and Heath, they had started working on the character before the script was even finished.
Yeah.
Because they were really
built the movie around him.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you've seen the movie, you notice all the deep creases in the forehead and stuff. He would actually pull instead of just sitting there and having the white just painted on, he would make scrunch up his face in all sorts of different ways, and they would paint it on there so it looked like he had put it on. It had been scheming for 2 days.
He'd left it on for a week. Yeah.
It looked like it too.
Yeah. Well, he also didn't wash his hair. Is it how stringy?
It looked like it. It looked like that too.
Yeah. Yeah. And the first scene,
which I thought fit the character.
Yeah. The first scene that Heath and Christian Bale ever filmed was that interrogation scene.
Oh, yeah.
And
that was like one of the first ones.
Yeah, that was the very first scene because
Like,
if you notice that his hair was just a slight bit shorter than what it was the rest of the movie.
Yeah, well, that was the first time Christopher Nolan had like seen him in character, like fully in character. So he was like experiencing it for the first time, and of course there was people outside the room and they were filming, but he was, they were alone in there, and he was actually hitting Heath, and Heath was like, "Come on, just hit me."
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, "Oh,
I'm sure that
you're gonna punch
part
him,
of the
but
method,
we're gonna,
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
let me.
like so many other fights, it's like, "Oh, I'm gonna punch," and then there's gonna be a puff of smoke, or we're gonna
Pam,
like angle the
pow,
Biff.
angle the camera so you can't actually see you being hit. But like he actually had bruises, and the tiles on the walls actually got like damaged because he was like slamming them into it, like for real.
Do you remember the story about Michael Caine, who played Alfred the first time he saw Heath?
He forgot his lines because
He
was
did.
so
He was
freaked
scared.
out.
He was freaked out. Michael Caine, classic tough guy actor, British, and
British.
First time he ever saw Heath Ledger on set as the Joker in character.
Like coming, I think he was
coming off the elevator.
Yeah, the elevator. He just totally forgot.
Yeah, the elevator scene where he talks about how he got his scars.
Yeah.
He literally forgot his lines because he was freaked
Just
out.
Bing.
Yeah.
Line's gone.
I don't think I've ever seen a bad Michael Caine movie. Hang on, let me retract that statement. He
I've
was
never
in Jaws:
seen-
The Revenge. So
I've never seen Michael Caine act badly.
he did a good job in the film. I thought.
Yeah.
AKA Jaws 4. But yeah, it was
Going for that money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a fucking paycheck. I
guess-
don't blame him. I like paychecks too, but
Yeah.
you know.
Now, what we have on the wall, we actually have a poster of the Heath Ledger Joker.
It's like it sort of looks like a charcoal or pencil drawing.
Yeah, it's definitely a charcoal drawing. You can see.
And whoever did it did a fucking amazing job.
Yeah.
Probably on the fine print somewhere.
It's on the poster somewhere.
I think we should, maybe post this to our web pages and
Absolutely. Social media.
Facebooks.
It
Yeah.
has the he's
Social media,
like in
yeah.
that classic kind of head tilt thing with the hair all mussed up.
Yeah. The cool thing, and you dressed the part. Now, the cool thing about his costume was
Oh, yeah, she did.
his
Oh, yeah.
costume,
I love making the workplace awkward.
It was all custom made.
custom-made rags is what it was.
Yeah.
They stitched
Well-
rags together. That's
Oh,
what
for
they,
Heath?
That's how
Yeah,
they
I
described
heard
it
that.
anyway. It looked like they stitched rags together. Is what they said.
It didn't look like rags.
Well, I think they were using that not literally, but as more of a, kind of a metaphor, as in like
It's like throwaway
throwaway,
material.
Well, they were trying to make him kind of look.
homeless.
Well, they
Oh.
did a great job.
Yeah.
The book in front of me says a completely opposite thing of what you're saying.
What does it say? What does it say?
It says they were
I
trying
will
to have-
gladly be corrected.
Okay, well, when the costume people knew he was going to be played by Heath, they wanted him to have a younger, trendier style. Because instead of like, I guess the bigger shoulders and the really
Oh, the
Well,
almost bolo tie.
wasn't kind of like emo kind of bigger back at that time when the
No,
yeah,
that's
but he's
maybe-
not emo. That's
No, that
not
was even
his-
earlier that emo was.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that was like the 2000s.
Late 90s.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do possibly an episode on the Kentucky Vampire Clan.
Oh Jesus.
That's a fucked up thing. Okay. So they kept him in purple, obviously, and they had a tinge of green in his hair.
Mm-hmm.
And they had, the scars and the red lips and the black around the eyes. But let's see. The shirt. It was based on one that they found in an antique stall. So like something totally unique.
Yeah.
The shoes were from Milan. Fancy.
Of course.
It's gotta have good shoes.
Well, that's the thing. Even in the comics, the Joker always had really nice leather fancy shoes. Now his always came complete with spats, but for those that don't know what spats are,
That'd be me.
They are these things that actually it's almost like lace or something like that goes on top of the shoe.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
like if
Yeah, it's like it's on top and it kind of wings out on the top.
Old school formal wear.
It's a fancy shoe flap.
Yeah. So yeah, I can totally understand him having him wear shoes from Milan. You know,
fancy shoes.
Very fancy shoes. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the tie was like custom made. It was made by. The fabric came from Turnbull and how do you say that? Asser fabric, Asser.
Yeah,
it's
Asser.
Probably Asser.
Yeah.
It's probably said fancier and whatever.
Yeah, because I don't have a fancy sounding voice. So.
Fancy, yeah. They say the book says
I can't pronounce it. So
I don't know. The book says it is probably the weirdest tie that company ever made.
Perfect. I guess.
Well, that's kind of fitting, though.
Yeah, I guess the
weirdest looking tie ever. Here
the main point of this whole thing was that I think everybody involved in that Joker gave as much detail and respect to that psychotic nut job as humanly possible. As even he
could be the fucking respectful, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were being respectful, very respectful.
No, you should be calling him names like that.
I feel like every live action Joker, at least more recent ones, they really put a lot of thought into every detail of every accessory, the hair, the makeup.
Leto's, right? Jared Leto.
Yeah. I did watch some videos on him, and it just sucks he doesn't get more screen time.
He had a lot. They just cut it out of the movie.
Yeah, he was pissed. But wouldn't you? You're playing this iconic character or putting so much into it. It's we're just gonna cut most of your fucking stuff. And then,
especially if you're promised that much screen time and you
it's
work
the Joker.
hard.
I could get almost any other character, but the Joker.
He cut his hair. He dyed it blonde. He
shaved his eyebrows for this part.
Yeah, he shaved his eyebrows. He put on 15 pounds of muscle.
That's not makeup. He shaved his fucking eyebrows for this part. Come on.
And wore a grill for months.
Now, I know people...
He as well was method.
Yes.
As well as Heath was.
Yes, absolutely. Jared Leto, aside from being... I like his band,
Margaret Robbie...
30 Seconds from Mars, but...
She said it was never Jared on set. It was always the Joker. He came on and he was talking like the Joker. He was acting like the Joker. It was never... Even in between takes and stuff, he kept in character.
Still the fucking Joker.
He did that in every role that he's ever had.
Me personally, I know he gets a bad rap, but I quite enjoyed his version of it.
I think people
90% of the people are going to disagree with me.
Well, honestly, I think a lot of people just have an issue with Jared Leto being the Joker anyway, which I don't care. I think Jared Leto is a great actor.
I like his mannerisms, and I like the gangster to him.
And see, that goes into the whole thing about what were we talking about today? We're talking about multiple different Jokers.
Exactly. Yeah.
And there's different versions of Joker, so why couldn't there be one like that?
Wow. Yeah. What's he going to do? Fucking just rip off Heath Ledger?
Yeah.
No, he's not going to do that.
Think about it. I know Harley Quinn's her own thing, but think about it. She's technically a female Joker. She's just as psychotic as he is and homicidal and with a carefree attitude like him. And
he might have messed her up some in the head, but
but still, if you...
But the whole thing is she wants, she's crazy, but I think she does wish that he would be a little less crazy because she just wants
what are they trying to do? Give the male and females eye candy to look at for them?
Yeah. I gotta admit, he's as far as Jokers go, he's pretty nice.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's weird because you shouldn't, he's literally wants to just kill people and is basically evil, so you shouldn't like him, but then they gave him abs.
The Joker as a character overall, I don't really care who is playing the Joker. The Joker is just charismatic.
Yeah, and that's actually a good segue into your Joker.
Yeah.
Your last Joker.
Our last Joker.
Yes.
Which is... And I know maybe some of the audience are going to be disappointed because we're not touching on Jack Nicholson very much.
But I did talk about him just a little bit earlier. But he brought Joker back to the forefront in the 80s.
He did.
Yes.
He did. But my Joker, the Joker that I wanted to do was any Joker that involved Involved. Wow.
Involved. Good.
Wow.
Good words.
Fucking A. That's like fucking embarrassing as fuck. Okay.
That word sounded incorrect, Cotton.
Yeah. Thank you. Distract, the fuck up by me. But involved Mark Hamill.
Yes.
Anything that involved Mark Hamill, I have recently come to see the animated film Batman: The Killing Joke, which I fell in love with. I absolutely loved the Arkham Knight games. Or not Arkham Knight, but the Batman Arkham
series,
trilogy.
Yeah, it was all like the games
or series.
That's a whole other
but it was but it was Mark Hamill that was doing all of these different Jokers that I liked. And nothing against the other guys that done Jokers. I mean, I've yet to see one that I didn't enjoy. But there was just something special about Mark Hamill. So we'll give a quick rundown of kind of who Mark Hamill was, if for whatever reason somebody out there doesn't know who the fuck Mark Hamill is. So born September 25th in 1951 in Oakland, California. His early roles included General Hospital, Bill Cosby Show, Partridge Family. This is where he kind of takes a big leap, right? So he was suggested, and I didn't know this, but he was suggested to audition for a role in Star Wars by a friend, Robert Englund, which I'm a very big fan of.
AKA Freddy Krueger.
There we go. Yeah. Done several voice acting roles for various Marvel and DC universe type things, animation. He's done recurring voice acting roles for Robot Chicken. He's done character voices for video games since the 90s and still doing them. And also, I don't know how... I'm assuming that this is correct. So, and I'm sure fanboys, if there's any listening, will eat me alive if I'm wrong. But he has been confirmed as the voice of Chucky in the new Child's Play remake.
Yes, that is correct.
So,
Yeah.
okay, so you're a fanboy then. Okay.
No, no. Of Mark Hamill himself, yes.
Yeah. So, if anybody didn't catch the Star Wars reference, this man is fucking Luke Skywalker. So, for anybody that didn't know that, you're
Good
welcome.
Lord, where have you been?
Yeah, that.
Where have you been?
Yes. What fucking rock have you been under?
Sure wasn't on Tatooine.
So, no, not on Tatooine. So, Mark Hamill started as the Joker in 1992 in the Batman the Animated Series, which was incredibly critically acclaimed. Which
Watch Mask of the Phantasm. That is Shakespeare in Batman form.
I was just getting to that. So,
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's my go-to with the animated series. Sorry.
Now, I'm going to admit, like most of I know fanboys are going to want to say animated series, but I call them a fucking cartoon. But so those I'm not incredibly familiar with. Like at the age that I was whenever these shows were out, okay, it's Batman. I enjoyed the Tim Burton movies. Okay, but I didn't get into Batman or the Joker for that matter. As a kid, the Joker scared the fuck out of me.
Understandable.
So I didn't get into it then, but so Mark Hamill was also, as far as the animated series goes, Batman Adventures, Justice League, Batman Mark of the
Mask of the Phantasm.
There you go. Batman Beyond Batman Beyond Return of the Joker.
Yes.
Which I am not familiar with much of this.
Honestly, that is a great episode. They call it episode, but it's a couple episodes put together for the Batman Beyond animated series. So good.
There was a very short-lived WB live-action series called Birds of Prey.
Yes.
Yes, which had Mark Hamill doing the voiceover for actor Roger Stoneburner.
Yes.
So I'm not very familiar with that at all either.
It was based on a comic of the same name.
It lasted 9 episodes.
Yeah, it didn't last very long.
On the CW.
He's actually taking very small roles and very small pay to do voices for toys and amusement park rides just because he wanted to protect the character. And he was quoted saying, "I don't want somebody else sleeping in my sleeping bag." Which I thought was fucking great.
Hey, that's genius.
Yeah, so, and he's done multiple video game as the Joker outside of the
anime series.
Outside of the Arkham series. I'm talking about video games specifically.
Cool.
But Batman Vengeance 01. Adventures of Batman and Robin. This was 94. This was on Super Nintendo.
Super Nintendo, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
And then that's when they started getting into the Arkham series, which started with what is it? The City? Is it Arkham City?
Arkham Asylum.
Arkham Asylum.
Then Arkham City, and then
I can't remember which one I've played. I've played one of those. Now, I played the fuck out of Arkham Knight. I fucking love that.
I beat Arkham Asylum. It was great.
I don't remember which one it is, but I did beat one of them. I don't recall which, but the Arkham Knight, I have a lot. I've played through that 2 or 3 times, but absolutely loved, because I've spent so much time with the Arkham Knight that I've seen the Joker. I've seen Mark Hamill quite a bit,
right,
to this point. And the Arkham series is at this point is about the only thing I've had to do with Mark Hamill is the Joker. Okay. So that's when when I've played the Arkham Knight over and over again a few times, that's when I fucking Mark Hamill has knocked this motherfucker out of the park. I wasn't crazy about the fact that, it's a 2015 video game. Hope it's not spoiling this for anybody, but the Joker is only a figment of Batman's imagination because they are tied together. So at the very beginning of the game, you start out by putting the Joker through a cremation process. So I was like, well, when I first played it, I was like, well, fuck. Because I like the Joker probably more than I do Batman. And so I'm like, well, fuck, this is going to suck. And then I started seeing the Joker throughout the game, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Is this a flashback? What's going on here? But eventually, you play through it, and you go, okay. You start to see this. The Joker is a figment of Batman's imagination, plays all kinds of fucking tricks on him throughout the game. It's just fucking lovely. Absolutely loved that game. So, he did make comment on Heath Ledger's Batman, which I found to be just a compliment to end all compliments. He said it's the most original performance he has seen since Anthony Hopkins' Hannibal Lecter from Silence of the Lambs, which another just amazingly critically acclaimed film and performance.
If you're watching compilation lists of villains,
greatest villains of all time in film,
I think Hannibal Lecter and the Joker would be pretty high up on the good at being bad.
Oh yeah.
So now he has done another video game, which was Lego DC Supervillains, which was just last year.
Yeah.
Not really my type of game, but I'm sure if he had anything to do with it, it's a hell of a job.
Just find somebody else to play it, and then you just listen for him.
So, yeah, exactly. So that's what YouTube's for.
That's right.
Yeah, just watch someone play it on there.
So, and at one point, Hamill made the comment that I want to do the Killing Joke if it's ever done. Like 2 weeks later, motherfucker gets confirmed as the Joker for Batman the Killing Joke.
Shit, the Joker wants to do the Killing Joke? Yes, let's do it!
Yes, so it turns out that the Killing Joke is one of, and like I say one of because I've seen several other Batman animated movies. And I don't know what they all are, but I've enjoyed every one that I've seen. But there was something different, something unique about Batman the Killing Joke. So I watched this, I rented it from a movie store right up the road that I'm not going to plug.
Oh, have they done you dirty?
Savage.
Yes, I have been done dirty.
Oh, no.
How do you think you got that poster?
I didn't get that fucking I bought that fucking poster.
I know you did.
You know the story, how I came across that poster.
Yeah.
Which came from The Great Escape in Bowling Green, which I very much enjoyed that place of business.
That's right. And have a good podcast, too.
Yes. I don't know, but okay, yes.
The comic book shop.
You know,
Yeah.
okay, sure, I'll put them over, even though I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But I enjoy their business very much so. Actually, it's where I got my new little toy right here, which is actually, it's a piggy bank.
Oh, no kidding. It's a half bust. I say half bust, it's because he has no legs. A half bust of the classic comic book Joker holding a Joker playing card.
Yeah, he's got a tiny little card.
Yeah. Like he's
It's
getting ready
actually like the same material almost as the card.
It's really cool. It is very well done.
But the Killing Joke, that's really kind of what got me into. I mean, obviously, I had experience with the Arkham Knight video game,
right?
And that kind of got me into the Joker. When I found out that he was doing the Killing Joke, I'm like, all right, that's it. I'm fucking watching that. And it turns out it's something that I'm really, really into. Love this story. I wouldn't have minded to have seen the Joker in it a little bit more. It kind of takes a while to get introduced in the film, but it is what it is, and it's a great story. So, but now Mark Hamill himself, he's received received nominations for 2 Annie Awards. Anybody doesn't know what that is? It's animated awards, Interactive Achievement Awards, aka DICE, DICE, which, if you don't know what that is, it's Video Game Awards, Spike Video Game Awards, and he's actually won a British Academy Video Game Award for Best Performer, which doesn't fucking surprise me.
Not at all.
Obviously, Mark Hamill has had his hand in pretty much our entire lives. Yeah. Going back to the start of Star Wars with Luke Skywalker,
which I have to say, that awful acting job that he did, because he never really acted before. It was very innocent. Hi, I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you. Any person in a high school play could pull that job off. Acting like that. To go from that to being such a dynamic voice and just a regular actor.
And on top of that, I mean, he's got possibly one of the, I'm not going to say necessarily acting roles per se, but one of the biggest heroes ever. To possibly the greatest villain ever.
Yeah.
I mean, to take that big of a leap within your career, and you've got that under your belt, so you're the best hero ever, and you're also the best bad guy ever. Yeah.
What is it they said in The Dark Knight? Something about you can only be a good guy so long before you get. You can only be a hero for so long before you get killed or you become the villain.
Yeah.
You live long enough to see yourself become the villain, or you die.
Something like that,
something along those lines.
We're messing this up.
That's okay, but the point is, he started out.
I'm not a fanboy yet.
He started out as the hero.
After doing the research, I might become a fanboy of this, but prior to it, no, I was definitely not a fanboy. So, fanboys, fuck you. I'm doing the best I can here.
And girls.
Fan people.
fan people.
Yeah.
Fan persons.
I guess the point is, we've talked about, the Joker is a psychotic, homicidal maniac. That's not why we like him. We like him because there's so many different ways that you could take his story. I can't remember the name of the comic, but there is actually one comic where he thinks he's killed Batman. And when he does, it snaps him out of his psychosis.
Yeah.
And he becomes normal.
I think...
Because, his job is done.
I think one of the reasons why I was so into the Killing Joke is because it was an origin story. I have a thing for origin stories. Like, I know that The Dark Knight with Heath Ledger, it's a lot of people's favorite Batman anything, but I liked Batman Begins better just because it was an origin story, and it may be why that I'm into the Killing Joke so much is because I love origin stories.
Yeah,
I like to know the backlog, the history of why you became what you were.
Exactly. It shows you how you got there.
But the character grows incredibly. If you're looking at the origin of his story, it grows incredibly. Like it's just amazing to watch. So,
I'm gonna have to reread that comic because it's been many years, but it was what happened.
It's a graphic novel, you son of a bitch.
Yes, it's a graphic novel. You remember that because then he comes to find out that spoilers, Batman actually didn't die. So now then he's like, "What do I do?
Crazy again?
Do I go crazy? Do I kill him? Do I let him be? What do I do?"
Yeah.
So
I think it's kind of, especially the Killing Joke. It's kind of, the story was released in 1988. Yes. So if you haven't heard it by now, it's your fucking fault.
Yeah.
So this is not spoilers since it's been out since the 80s, but the film doesn't necessarily give you a clear indication of what happens. But so I'm like, okay, I'm not one to figure this shit out. So I okay, what the fuck happens? Google, tell me what the fuck happens. Yeah. And it's kind of said that, okay, it kind of implies that Batman kind of strangles him to death. So, and like I said, one more time, fanboys, don't at me. Just fucking take what I'm saying with a grain of salt here. Yeah. So, Batman would also kind of be a little bit in the same. What the fuck do I do? My arch nemesis. I am Batman. So much not needed. Nowhere near as much now that the Joker's gone. So,
and then the Penguin throws a penguin at him.
Cured. What about the Riddler?
Oh, come on. Let's not pretend that the other villains are even remotely close to what the Joker.
Although the most poignant and poetic villain out there in the Batman series is Mr. Freeze. On that note, do we want to give any final thoughts about the Jokers? I mean, we've covered pretty much everything about them.
The Joker may very well be my favorite character ever.
What about you?
He's definitely...
And that's multiple forms of it. I mean, the Mark Hamills, the Heath Ledgers,
They just make me want to watch all these animated things, because I only watch these live-action ones, well, some of them, and then the Justice League cartoon.
Now, obviously, there's more...
Which isn't Batman-centric, but he's in there.
There's more variations than what we've even discussed. I mean, we just barely touched on Jared Leto, Jack Nicholson, didn't touch on the other animated stuff that wasn't Mark Hamill.
Nope.
So, I mean, there's a slew of things that we didn't even cover, but there's not... I can't think of anything Joker out there that I'm not interested in.
And it's amazing.
And even though how bad the TV series was, I'm still interested in it.
Yeah, it's great. Take it from us. If you haven't seen anything with the Joker in it, and just by listening to this, give it a try. Try a graphic novel. Try a movie. Try an animated film. Just YouTube it. Check it out. It's really cool.
And just for the record, if you're interested in the 60s Batman, you're not going to find much on YouTube. I can tell you that. Just some shitty fight scenes. This is about the extent of what you're going to catch on YouTube right now.
Pretty much. And with that, I guess we'll bring this week's episode to a close.
Yep.
And that's all I got to say about that.
Like was mentioned before, if you would like to reach
Once again, sorry for bad impersonations.
If you would like to reach us, whether to give us a question or comment, you can email us at deadpanbsf@gmail.com or deadpanstudio18@gmail.com. You can go to our website, deadpan-studio.com, for all the goodies that we have to offer, episodes, show notes. You can contact us there.
Be sure to check out our social medias. That we're gonna have some newly uploaded pictures.
Yes, we are. Deadpan Studio 18 on Facebook as well as Twitter. We're just going to have it. So, again, if you'd like to tell your friends to listen to us, follow us, subscribe, download. We're streaming on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, Spotify, as well as deadpanstudio.podbean.com. This week for BSF, just want to say thank you. And why so serious?
No. I didn't know where you were going with that.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Honestly, I probably didn't either. I was just going.
You had
for
to look.
It's in the moment.
Like
I was just going for it. I was in the moment.
Started talking.
It felt right.
And then
It did. It felt right, Cotton.
It felt right, so I was going to go in.
I went in balls deep.
Yeah. It was wet, warm, and inviting, so you just plunged right in.
And before we go completely off the deep end,
Hey, that's my job, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
That's right. I mean, like, I'm the one that usually does that shit. Right?
Yes.
Sir
That's what I
Bradley,
wanted to get.
Would you-
No hesitation from Kat.
No.
No.
Yes.
Sir Bradley, would you like to close us out tonight?
No.
No.
So anyway, maybe a bit longer than maybe what we intended, but hell, man, I enjoyed the fuck out of this topic, and hopefully the audience did too. So if you didn't, that's okay. Fuck you. We don't care. We're gonna do what the fuck we want.
That's right.
But seriously, if anybody in the audience has anything to say, good, bad, or indifferent, let us know, because otherwise we're not going to know.
That's right.
The more you know,
And knowing is half the battle.
and knowing is half the battle. Knowledge is power.
The more you
Do we
know.
want to hear the
Yes.
Joker laugh?
So
Oh,
I think Matthew has that covered, right?
No, this is a different.
That's a different one. She
I
wants
just
to do
wanna-
a new one. Look,
This is
I
the one I
would,
almost used.
I would always listen to a new one.
Look, she's on top of that more than
Yeah.
on top of you. I enjoy the fuck out of this.
And for copyright purposes, we end there. Good night and good morning.
Good night, and for
everyone.
BSF, I am the Matt.
Sir Bradley.
And I'm Kat. Peace out.
We'll see y'all next time.
Why so serious? He comes at me with the knife. Why so serious?